Hello everyone, this is Shirley live from Rhode Island, and we are Family Office Insider by Shirley. Hello, hi, today we have David. Hello David, nice
Hello,
meeting
Shirley.
you. Hello, hi. David is the principal of a single family office, and I'm inviting him here to share his family story, his investment portfolio, and all the wisdom that other families should know. Thank you, David.
Hello, I'm David Hamilton Nichols. I'm a fourth generation Californian, recently moved to Florida. My family were farmers, and I am an investor in early stage companies. I've been across the gamut of different sectors, everything from healthcare to AI, fintech, renewable energy, climate, blockchain, mostly US, but I've also had experience with something active on most continents. And it's been an interesting journey.
That's great, David. Good to learn that. And I would like to know you. How did you start? When did you start actually taking charge of your family's investment portfolio?
Well, I've generally been investing a lot throughout the years myself, and I was doing real estate at one point, and then I had friends that were starting companies, and it seemed like a very good change, a different risk profile to explore. So I diversification, and I found I was very good at picking companies. So that was a interesting transition.
What is your educational background?
College dropout.
Oh,
I was getting bored. I was getting bored and causing too much trouble.
Right, because you just said that you found yourself learning by doing, that you're very good in picking up companies. Okay. Please elaborate a little bit more about that.
Well, I think if you observe enough, you're smart enough, and you've been seen enough, you can pick patterns.
Okay,
and that's helpful. But in general, I would say really picking companies comes down to really a lot of common sense.
Okay.
Fundamentally, if it's solving a major problem, it's going to have a market.
Okay.
Number two, are the founders credible? Are they skillful? Are they able to execute? Because if so, they have a lot better chance of pulling it off. And number three is the business model sound. You need a good business model. Those are some things that are generally overall, but yes, there's patterns. Like, what are the things that are most needed right now? What is going on in society where a problem needs to be solved? Paying attention to trends and to the overall, that's very helpful.
Yeah, I guess then you come to the next question is that, to be updated on all the current issues and problems that we're facing this world. Like you say, you also invest in renewable energies and also in the cryptocurrencies. However, we're just saying that what is your investment style? What is your source of information? And, let's say, do you rely on a close circle, or do you work with other VC or, PE or advisors that you get your feed and then you make your own judgment? Or how does that work? Please tell us.
Well, I would say I always make my own decision, but I do listen to what people have to say around me.
Yes.
Because sometimes people are a good source of information, especially once your network has reached the point where you are around people that are closer to that source, rather than just watching it on the news or taking a standard investment advisor's word. So if you are talking to actual people involved in things going on in our world, you want to pay at least some attention to what's being said. Okay. Now, obviously, if you are putting your money into something, you're ultimately the decision maker there, and you are going to bear that responsibility. So use your discernment and your discretion. But having that information and also having a very broad and eclectic network that I've built over the years is something that I find very helpful in making in some of the information gathering process. And then looking at the companies, what they are saying about their own product, their own development, and then just general knowledge built over years in the industry.
Wow, okay. And we all love stories here. So I'm going to ask David to tell us some stories. So give us an example of your recent year's investment, how you got into the deal and how you're doing it now, or something that, it did not happen and why it did not.
Well, I would say take that from the perspective of founders can be interesting.
Okay.
You need to really, because you have people that are starting a company, they're already outside the box. They're not your most standard personality type. It takes a special breed. The question is, how special is that? They need to be, you're already unreasonable. I can't remember the exact quote, but it's been, I think it was Bertrand Russell said something about the unreasonable man, being
the outlier.
The outlier. So these are people that are not inherently reasonable by society standards. If they are going to change things and in a major way or create something that is completely new and very valuable. So that's obviously they're outside that box. But they need to be reasonable enough to know when is appropriate to yield.
Yes.
And I would say one particular challenge sometimes is if you have a founder but they don't have a business-minded co-founder and they're more on the engineering or the scientific, kind of mindset. Having that good balance is helpful. I would say I've seen over the years the times where things are more likely to go awry is if there's a personality issue, or if there is an issue where they are very good at what they do, but they also don't have the business side of it to ground it.
Would you champion as the business side of some founder if you see his lack of that skill?
Sorry, say that again?
Will you actually chime in as like a co-CEO, like a co-chairman?
I would not take time is a precious commodity, and to take the time to be that co-founder role, not something I am super eager to do. I will advise a number of companies. I've done the board thing. However, what I would say is I do sometimes point things out to founders, especially when I'm in that advisory role, and will help them, see if there's something they might be missing. It's usually it's very rare that it's been friction, but on those times there's friction, sometimes that's no fun, obviously, of course.
Right.
That said, it's better if they can get that on their own and have that on that team, but in an advisory role, of course, that could be appropriate as well.
Okay, thank you, David. And let me ask you, what are you looking for over the next 12 months?
Well, I'm generally fairly opportunistic in how I look at things. So obviously, I think in general, AI is very hot, but with that, there comes the problem that a lot of AI deals are overpriced, and also people slap the AI label onto companies that really weren't AI. So I think AI is something that is, of course, over the next 12 months, very important, but there may not be certain opportunities that are actually worth taking in a given instance. And any sector, often if it's one that's less looked at, you can find good deals often in any sector. Even if it's not necessarily getting the most attention, if you get the right company and the right deal, that's why I say I am somewhat opportunistic. I mean, you heard the different kinds of sectors I'm in.
Yes.
And I would say add to that, sometimes it is very helpful if there might be synergies with companies you're already involved in,
that's
that
a good
you
idea.
can then add value and they can help each other. So there's sometimes that is something too.
Complementary, of course. You have the economy of scale.
Yeah.
And in certain sectors, I think then you will be specialized as certain, as investors in certain sectors.
Specialization is one thing. I think the world, though, has too few generalists, because we live in a world where there are PhD level and beyond people that know a lot about very little.
Yeah.
And that is something that is of course, they're very useful in their silos, but if you cannot connect those different silos, where is the creativity? Where is the cross-pollination? Where are the new discoveries? Think about how the Renaissance worked, where everybody was around each other and all these new ideas come forth. So if you are very siloed, although it has its pros, that con is that sometimes it may not think outside that box. So from that perspective, provided you can get enough of the due diligence and provided you know enough, there is a place where having a more generalist and opportunistic thesis is advantageous.
Yes, David, I also want to ask you relating to your own story, your own background. Because we have this video is watched by both principals, also next gen. That I wanted to know, because as a successful in a proven record as you do now, but I'm sure that at the early age when you decided to actually take charge of your family's capital and be that investor and take that important role, do you have to convince anyone from your family? And how did you jump on board? Because we have a lot of next gen now. They have finished their education, and they wanted to take a bigger role. But however, they don't know. I would like to share your experience, how you could, convince your parents or even your grandparents, how you say, hey, I wanted to take a bigger role in the family. I see this industry. I see that. I wanted to do it.
Well, I was already doing, investing on my own, which is more
was
the
your
thing.
Own money?
I had already, by a certain point, I'd started, because I was not given really free rein. Early on. My dad was alive until fairly recently. So, but most of the time, he was dealing with his own things. I was dealing with my own things. Until, it's been some years now, but it's not, it comes down to he was very much of the mindset he was going to work till the day he died. And he did.
I see.
He did.
Oh, wow. Well, so coming back to your story, you actually started on your own.
In a lot of ways, yes. I was dealing a lot more with real estate, and then I eventually, as I said, I had friends that were starting companies.
I see. So you actually did not take your family wealth or your family background for granted.
No, I did not. My father was actually, may he rest in peace, but he was also very cheap.
Okay.
And I say that with love because it's actually a good quality in some ways to be. It actually has its advantages and its disadvantages. So he was very much, very much. Well, I guess you could say I do have some Scottish ancestry. Leave it at that.
Yeah, great. I'm sure, whoever is listening to this will resonate with you because we have seen some principles like that too.
And I remember growing up that I knew some kids that were not well off that received a lot more for Christmas. And it was always like, you are going to earn it. In my first car I bought, I actually had to save my own money up and buy my first car myself. It was always, you had to find a way.
You see, you trade expectation with appreciation. By listening to David's story. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time today.